Hey, hi everybody, it's Julia here. I am putting a quick video together on how to download and log in, clock in, and do your paperwork on the new app that we will be using called AlayaCare. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up your app store. If you are a Google user or Samsung user, that is the Play Store, and you're going to search for AlayaCare. It's ALAYACARE. Sorry, my phone window got in the way. All right, you're going to see first a telehealth app. You're going to scroll down and make sure that you're picking the one with the icon with the leaves. You're going to click your download button right here and go ahead and start downloading that. All right, here comes your progress bar. And as soon as that downloads, you're going to open that up and you're going to be asked for a permission. So go ahead and open your app. I don't know how.
Once you download AlayaCare and allow for GPS and push notifications, you're going to have to enter the company server name. Now that's going to be just like it says here. Pardon me for a moment. We have the company, so first we're going to put Star Pediatrics, and then we're going to follow the same AlayaCare, and then for some reason, I don't know why that's .ca, it's going to be .com. So Star Pediatrics. .alayacare.com. So once you have that in, you're going to hit next, and it's going to connect you to Star's version of AlayaCare. And then you're going to put your personal email in there, whatever email you gave when you were hired. If you're not sure which email, go ahead and contact us and we can let you know. And your password is going to be your date of birth. It's going to be a 4-digit year. So let me do a quick screen right. It's going to be a 4-digit year. So you're going to go, and then your date of birth month, 2 digits, and 2 digits for the day. So for example, it's going to be a 4-digit year. So you're going to go, and then your date of birth month, 2 digits, and 2 digits for the day. So for example, I am, my birthday is July 3rd, 1987. So I would go 1987, 07, 03. All right, and that's just going to be your password. All right, now that our passwords are in, we're going to click log in with AlayaCare. So this could take a second. Just give it some time to load up. It's taking a smidge longer than normal. There we go. Okay, so now I am on my schedule. I forgot to add a shift, but that's okay. So what's going to happen is you should come straight to this screen with the date. Now, if you don't have a shift today, if you realize you're still clocked in from a previous shift, things like that, you can swipe left or right to change the date. Okay, so you can go forward and backward, and that'll also help if you want to, see your schedule a little bit ahead of time. I have to go all the way back to July 29th, I believe. Okay, so now to get started with your shift, you're going to wait a second for it to load up, and then once your shift is here, you'll see. Now yours is going to look a little bit different because this shift has already been completed, so that's why it's this color. So yours will be a different color. But here is my patient name, Star Mount Laurel. Star Office Mount Laurel is my patient name. I have my time for my shift. Don't mind, it looks a little funny. And then I have the address of my patient. So once I see that, I can click my shift. Excuse me, and then all of my shift information is going to come up. The first thing I'm going to do is clock in. Now this COVID screener is going to come up. Are you experiencing any of the following? If you are saying yes to any of these, please make sure you give us a call. It's not going to allow you to clock in at that time because we want you to call us. Call somebody that's on call or call somebody in the office. If you're experiencing any COVID symptoms, make sure you speak with somebody immediately. All right, so once you do your COVID screener, it's going to take a second. And I think this is because I'm not on the Wi-Fi. It's taking a minute, but it will clock me in, and right up top you're going to see a little alert that says clocked in. Okay, so once you're there, you have we no longer have the tab up in the top. You see where I'm scrolling here for the 8 to 12 narrative. They've moved that for us because that was causing some trouble. What we can do now is we can go into service tasks. This is going to be anything I need to do for my client during my shift. Now right here we have our narrative, and we can go ahead and click that and it will open up for us. And again, I'm not on the Wi-Fi, so it's taking a second. But here it is. And remember, just like with your narrative notes, you're going to check off all your equipment that your patient uses. Let's do, let's go feeding tube. Okay, and then you can go ahead and fill out each of these as usual. Now, some of them are going to be text boxes that you have to type into. Some of them will be check boxes that you can check on or off. I think with Apple, they have the little slide, when it's green, it's checked off. When it's gray, it's not. And then you've got your time of your assessment. Now, it does pull up the time that it is on your clock, but you can absolutely edit that manually. Okay, you can edit your hour, your minutes just by tapping there, and then you can change your AM, PM that way, or you can type it in if you'd like. Okay, so that's that little keyboard down at the bottom. So once you have your time clocked in, now you can do your eyes. Now each of these with the little arrows, let me show you. Right here, if it has these little arrows, these are just going to be drop downs, which is really nice because you don't have to write out everything. Okay, but just go through your notes as normal. Now this is just your initial assessment. So you're going to continue on. We'll do 2 liters per minute. Sure, nasal cannula. Got a G tube. Okay. I'm going to leave that blank because I don't really know what to put there. Strong, clear. Okay, so you guys get the idea. Just go through and answer all the questions you normally would. Just be just be mindful here that you're being careful to fill out everything you normally would. It's not going to, none of these are required fields, which basically means if you don't fill it out, it's the program is going to allow you to continue on. The app is going to allow you to continue on without putting those values in. So anything that should be filled in, make sure it's filled in, because the app will not tell you if it's not. That's going to be up to you. So once I'm finished with my initial assessment, I can go straight in, hit next into my hour 1 measure. So now that I'm in my hour 1 measure, I can do the same thing. I can change this if I need to. I can type it in if I need to using that keyboard key. I'm just going to use the time that's on my phone right now. You can type this in, and that's really nice too. If something is going to be only a number, it's going to only give you that number option, which is pretty awesome. It doesn't, it takes a little bit of the guesswork out of it. Let's hope their blood saturation's good. Yeah, and if any of these boxes are grayed out, that just means that it's not an option for you. If there's a blue around it, there is an option to record something there. Okay, and then again, you have your checkbox here, or on Apple, it's going to be the little slide. Okay, any activity, intake, any output. Okay, now let me go back here. Additional measures captured. There's going to be things obviously that you guys are going to do that weren't on this form. So if you wind up taking a temp or a heart rate or anything, doing some suctioning, maybe there was a seizure, we had a very active hour. So now that we've checked all those, you'll notice that there are new boxes here. That it used to be this box and then straight to the narrative. Everything that you check in here, it'll give you an opportunity to record. So hopefully, we have some really nice. Now this one's a little strange. We're trying to figure this out. How many times did you suction? Let's say we had to suction twice, and then within, 1 seizure. But for suctioning, if you put your number, and then if you have more details to put, we can put that inside the narrative as well. The narrative is going to be really important. You want to make sure that you are filling this out every hour. Most of you guys should have one of these little microphones down on your keyboard. If you don't have that, you will have to type, but if you do, just speak really clearly when you hit that, and then you can, here, check it out. Patient was awake and alert, had 1 seizure that lasted 12 seconds. Mom was notified. Okay, and obviously you can see that it doesn't always do, excuse me, silly games. All right, so it doesn't always pick up exactly what you're saying, but that could also be because of my headset. They're not the greatest quality. Okay, but you can, instead of typing out everything, now maybe you just have to go back and switch one detail or something like that. Suction was clear. What, I don't really know what you would describe about the suction. But anything that you would describe should go in this narrative here, okay? Just like normal. If there's any information that you didn't get to put down that is important, just put it in your narrative. Okay, so we're gonna head over. At this point, you're done your first hour, you're done your initial assessment. If you are on Android, we have this lovely arrow in the top left corner. If you tap that, it's not gonna take you, if you tap back and next, those are gonna move you through your form. But if you hit this back arrow, that's gonna take you out of your form. And once you see that, it's going to ask you if you want to discard or save. Please, please, please hit save every time. And now, you can go back, you can go onto your phone if you need to, do something with that. You don't have to be in the app the entire time. With this app, as a safety feature, every 5 minutes that you are inactive, you will be asked to put your password back in, which is a security thing. It's going to be true about most apps, especially of this nature with sensitive information. So I'm going to go ahead and put my password back in. Okay, so let's say we got logged out of our session. We have to log back in again. It's time for our second hourly assessment. Okay, so now you'll notice that my shift is green. That means I'm clocked into it now. If that shift is green, I'm gonna click into it. Now, it did take me, I got lucky. It took me back to the day's date. If you guys are doing overnight shifts and you're looking, if you start on, let's say you start Wednesday, July 29th, and then, you go overnight into Thursday, your shift is going to be found on that Wednesday. So make sure that you always go to the date of the start of the shift. That's where everything's going to be found. And that's going to be similar with your paperwork as well. So you can hit your shift. You'll notice when this does load that I am still clocked in. My green clock in clock is still grayed out. I can't tap that. So let me go back to my notes. Let me go to my service tasks. And then we see, yeah, we had last saved this at 12:46. So that's really nice that you can see. There we go. You have to click the button, the box next to it. So now, do we want to start a new one or resume? Now, obviously, if you go through this, you want to make sure you're resuming. If you start new, you will lose your data, so please, please, please hit resume. Okay, and always do that save. Now, unfortunately, right now, we're looking for a solution to this, but with the iPhones, you don't have this back arrow. So what winds up happening is that you wind up having to hit the back button until you get back to this first page, the initial assessment, and then you do have something in your corner that gives you the option to go back. It is a little bit of a bug in the system. So we are continually reaching out to the people at AlayaCare to get advice and feedback on what we can do to make your lives easier with submitting your paperwork and saving it to ensure that you are not losing anything. Okay, so with hour 2, you're going to do the same thing as hour 1. You obviously don't have to do your initial again. Okay, remember you can change your time, fill out everything. I'm just going to fill out a few things so it doesn't take forever. Excuse me. Okay, and as always, we want to make sure that that narrative is filled out, even if your client is asleep. Patient was sleeping the entire hour. And that does sometimes take a second to, catch up with you when you're using that talk to text feature. All right, so here we go. Go next. Now, let's say you're finished your shift. Maybe you only had that 2-hour shift, or you continued filling out your hour 3, you continued filling out your hour 4, etc. Now this gives you pages for all 12 possible hours. So even if you only have an 8-hour shift, like let's say you filled out up to here, excuse me, I'm sorry, 8 hour. So let's say you filled out up to here, whatever extra pages are in the form, you are allowed to leave blank, absolutely, okay? So if it's hour 9 and you're done your shift, just keep hitting next until you get to hour 12. Okay, at this time, after you finish your 12th hourly assessment or you finish your last hourly and swipe through, you will come to your goals and caregiver teaching tab. So now you're going to go ahead and click from the 485. These should be the goals from the 485, and you can click whichever ones, you know, you guys, excuse me, achieved or worked on for today. And then go ahead to your next screen. All right, so now we're at our final screen. If you see the goals screen first, that's probably a good thing. I think I'm missing that. But school bus and, I'm sorry, school bus time and drop off. Okay. Did you go to school this shift? If you click yes, notice that now you have these, the transportation box. Let's say you were transported by caregiver. And then let's say, what time did you get to school? And again, same with all of these time clocks, you can adjust these as needed. Excuse me, let's see, you got there at 8:30, sure. Oh, and it says PM, so you can always go back and edit that as well. If you notice you make a mistake, we're going to, so feel free to try to edit whenever necessary. All right, date at the start of the shift. I mean, it'll usually come up, but mine was July 29th. And then time in for your shift, not for school, but for your shift. All right, that won't be so much of an issue when we have, when we answer no to this, because that won't even be a question anymore. And then your date at your end of your shift and your time out. Now, you want your time in and your time out to reflect your shift as much as possible. But if you wind up, you know, missing a clock in or something while we're still getting used to this, obviously it's going to be, you know, a work in progress. We're all still trying to get better at this right now. So again, just keep reaching out to us. All right. And then make sure the total hours is also going to be really important. Make sure that you calculate that correctly. And then go ahead and put your name and your title. Sure, I'll pretend I'm an RN. Okay, now the signature part, all I did here was I clicked this little pencil in the corner, or you can click the actual box with the pen in it. All right, and now you can sign with your finger, your stylus. I have seen the eraser of a pencil work pretty well. Anything that works for you is totally fine, as long as you guys can get those signatures in. Okay, and then you're going to hand off to the caregiver to do the same thing. And again, if you decide, you know, maybe, oh, you signed in the wrong spot. Oh no, I signed on client. I can just delete that and start over and give that to my my caregiver. Okay, and then we'll just choose the relationship and submit. So it says down here, form upload added to queue. So that just means that, like, right now there is a line of forms that's uploading, and then boom, right down here, that was perfect timing. Form was uploaded. So now I see submitted, not saved anymore because I have submitted it. And then that box is now checked because I have submitted all of the forms that I needed to for this shift. Okay, and once you're done all your paperwork, right now we're not getting into verbal orders or care plans or anything, we'll go back to the info tab. And again, like I said, it took me longer than 5 minutes, so it does make me put my password back in. It's a pain, but it's what makes it secure. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video while I put my password. Remember, this is gonna happen probably a million times during your shift because it is going to time out every 5 minutes. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, every time you do sign in, it should tell you whether you're clocked in. If you are clocked into a shift, it's on there. And then now I have all of my options again. I can go in and I can clock out now that I've submitted. So one last time, I'm going to take a look at my service tasks, make sure that I have submitted my form. Check. Okay. I'm going to go back over to info and then click this red clock out. And remember, when we do clock in and clock out, we enable the GPS because it's going to geotag our clock in and clock out. You want to make sure you're clocking in and clocking out as close to your shift as possible, time-wise, and as close to your location as possible. If there's ever a time when you are going to be in a different location or the family is going to be in a different location for whatever reason, make sure you communicate that with us, or the parents communicate that with us, so that we can make note of that in the file, that your clock in is going to be in a different place, and that's expected. That is a requirement from the state of New Jersey now. It is not something Star is doing. It is something that we are required to do. So that's the reason for that. Okay, so that's pretty much your entire shift for now. If you are having any issues with your app, anything funny is going on, if you're seeing something that you didn't necessarily see on this video or in any of the screenshots, feel free to take a screenshot of your app and show me what's going on. If you can send that to me with an email, that tends to be pretty helpful, because then we can go back and see exactly what went wrong and where, and we can fix it. Okay, so again, if you guys need any help, Julia McGinley. All right, I'm at the Mount Laurel office, and my email is jmcginley@starpediatrics.com. All right, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope you stay well. Bye.